At the reading of my grandfather's will, everyone got something special: jewelry, tools, photos. I got a box. Inside was a single envelope. It read, "You knew who I was. That was enough." My aunt turned to me and said, "He never forgave you." Forgave me for what? I was the one who held his hand at the end. The one who called every day. The one who canceled a semester to be with him. Later that night, I found an old voicemail from him on my phone. "Don't let them twist what we had." I still listen to it alone. I grew up thinking I understood my family, that there were rules. Some people played by them and some didn't. I thought I was one of the good ones. But after my grandfather died, I found out that everything I believed, everything I gave up for him, meant nothing to the people I thought I trusted. He was the only one who really raised me after my parents died. I was 10. My aunt and uncle offered to take me, but Grandpa stepped in. Said, "No. He stays with me." And that was that. I lived with him in a drafty house in Fairborn, Ohio. It wasn't fancy. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, faded wallpaper in every room. He worked as a machinist for 40 years before retiring. He was quiet. Didn't laugh much. But when I got home from school, he was always there. He helped me with homework, fixed my bike, taught me how to drive. I called him Pop. We weren't the kind of family that said, "I love you" out loud. But he showed me. In every small way. So when he got sick stage 4 pancreatic cancer, I came home. I was 2 months from graduating college. I was on track to finish my mechanical engineering degree. Had job offers lined up. But when the doctor said he had months, maybe weeks, I dropped out that day. Packed my stuff and drove home. I moved back into my old room. I helped him to the bathroom, cleaned up after him, managed his meds. I sat next to him while he slept. I shaved his face, made his soup, held his hand when he cried. No one else came around much. Aunt Cora would drop off groceries every other week. Uncle Ray, he showed up once. Talked for maybe 5 minutes. Then said something about not being good with death and left. I watched my grandfather die in slow motion. He wasted away. He couldn't eat, couldn't move. But even when he was barely there, he'd grab my wrist and say, "You're doing right." So when he finally passed, I felt destroyed, but also proud. Like I'd done what a grandson was supposed to do. Then came the will. Cora set it up with a lawyer she picked. Everyone gathered in the lawyer's office, me, Cora, Ray, and their 2 kids, Chloe and Bryce. The lawyer looked bored. Just read it out loud like it was some damn grocery list. Cora got a sapphire brooch and the old family photo albums. Ray got the tools and baseball stuff. Chloe and Bryce got jewelry. And me? I leave Nathan the cedar box in the attic. That was it. No letter. No message. No thanks. Just that one sentence. Cora didn't waste a second. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "He never forgave you." I froze. Forgave me for what? She shrugged, but she was smiling. Not a kind smile. The kind that said she knew something I didn't and she liked it. Everyone else acted normal, like this was all fair. Like I hadn't been the one who fed him his last spoonful of soup. Like I hadn't wiped his mouth when he was too weak to speak. The next day, I went to the basement. That's where Grandpa kept the old filing cabinet. 3 drawers, all locked. I found the key years ago when I was 13. Never used it. Never had a reason to. Until now. I opened the bottom drawer first. That's where he kept old bills and car titles. Nothing useful. Middle drawer had tax stuff. Receipts from before I was born. But the top drawer was packed with folders. Labeled in thick black marker. One stood out. Cora, 1987. I pulled it out. Sat on the dusty floor and started reading. It was a record of a car accident. Police report, witness statements. Date matched when my mom was 6 months pregnant with me. I kept reading. The accident involved a drunk driver. Name listed Raymond T. Melvin. Uncle Ray. There were photos. Newspaper clippings. A handwritten note from Grandpa at the bottom of the file. He got away with it. Paid off the witness. Cora swore me to silence. My hands started to shake. I knew my parents died in a car crash. But I was always told it was just an accident. Some stranger lost control on black ice. Nothing anyone could have done. But that was a lie. Ray was drunk, and Cora covered for him. I sat there for hours reading every paper in that folder. There were letters Grandpa wrote to the DA that went unanswered. Copies of checks made out to someone named Tommy Finch, the witness. All dated weeks after the accident. Ray should have gone to prison. Instead, he got a second chance. I lost my parents. Grandpa raised me because he couldn't live with letting it slide. But Cora, his own daughter, twisted his arm. Told him it was better to keep the family together. And he did. For me. That box. That note. You knew who I was. That was enough. Now it made sense. He never stopped blaming himself for keeping quiet. And Cora? She blamed me for making Grandpa choose me over her. She was twisting it even now, turning his silence into some final judgment against me. But Grandpa warned me. Don't let them twist what we had. And I won't. Because now I know the truth. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that photo of the mangled car. My parents' car. And Ray's name in bold at the top of the report. He killed them. And Cora helped him bury it. I decided not to confront them yet. Not until I had more. Something I could use. I remembered that Grandpa used to record stuff. Not on his phone, he didn't trust smartphones. He had this old black cassette recorder he kept on his nightstand. I went through his room, checked every drawer. Finally found it buried in the closet under a pile of sweaters. Still had a tape inside. Played it. It was a recording of a conversation between him and Cora. The audio was rough, but her voice came through clear. You can't bring this up again, Dad. It was a long time ago. You think time makes it better? I think protecting the family matters more than punishing Ray for one mistake. It was an accident. He was drunk. And you promised. I promised to raise the boy. I didn't promise to lie to him forever. Then you'll ruin everything. Then silence. Then Grandpa said something that hit me like a punch in the chest. One day he'll know. And I want him to understand why I stayed quiet. I hit stop. He knew I'd find this. He wanted me to. I went back to the file cabinet and looked through more folders. Found one labeled Tommy F. The witness. Inside were 2 addresses, one in Dayton, one scratched out and replaced with a new one in Lancaster. A phone number. And a note, he got the money. Then disappeared. It had a date, June 2000. I was 5. I didn't wait. I called the number. A raspy voice answered. Yeah? Is this Tommy Finch? Long pause. Who's asking? My name's Nathan. I'm Ernest Tolland's grandson. More silence. I think you knew my parents. Click. He hung up. I called again. No answer. I drove to Lancaster that night. His house was small. Peeling paint. Empty beer cans in the yard. I knocked. He opened the door halfway. I told you not to call again. I just want to talk. About the accident. About Ray. I don't know nothing. I have the papers. The check. The statement you gave the police before you changed it. That got his attention. He let me in. Place smelled like mold and regret. We sat in silence for a minute before he spoke. They paid me off. Told me if I didn't change the story, I'd go to jail for lying under oath. I didn't want trouble. Ray was drunk. He nodded. Hit your dad's car head on. Walked away without a scratch. Why come forward now? He looked at me, tired. Your granddad sent me money every Christmas. Said it was hush money, but he never asked me to lie. Said it was guilt. I left with an old folder he gave me. Had more proof. Photos. His original statement. Now I had everything I needed. I didn't tell anyone what I had. Not at first. I waited until the family gathering, the one Cora insisted on holding every year, in Dad's memory. This time it was at her house in Beaver Creek. Big spread. Fancy tablecloths. Fake smiles. Ray shook my hand when I came in like he didn't kill my family. Cora hugged me like she hadn't lied for 25 years. I waited until dessert. Before we dig in, I said, standing at the head of the table, I've got something to share. They all looked up. I pulled out a small black box and pressed play. Grandpa's voice came through the speaker. You think protecting the family matters more than punishing Ray for one mistake? Cora went white. Ray froze with his fork halfway to his mouth. I let it play through. Every word. Then I took out the folder and dropped it on the table. The police report. The photos. The check copies. Tommy Finch's original statement. All of it. No one moved. Then I spoke. You killed my parents, I said to Ray. And you let him take the blame for staying silent, I said to Cora. He died with that guilt on his back. Because of both of you. Ray stood up. Nathan, let's talk outside. No, I looked at everyone. Chloe and Bryce. Even they looked shaken. I sent everything to the police this morning, I said. Ray, you're going to be arrested. Cora, you'll be investigated for obstruction. And if they don't press charges, I'll go public. The local news will love this. Cora started crying. You don't understand what it was like back then. I had to protect our family. You protected a drunk, I said. You chose him over your own brother. Over me. Ray didn't say a word. He knew he was done. That night, the police knocked on his door. I got a call 2 days later. He was being charged with vehicular manslaughter, obstruction, and perjury. Cora got subpoenaed. They're still digging through everything. As for me, I thought getting revenge would feel good. Like I'd be free. But it didn't feel clean. I destroyed what was left of our family. Chloe and Bryce won't speak to me. And the truth? It didn't bring my parents back. Didn't bring Grandpa back either. But it did something else. It made sure no one twisted his memory again. That voicemail he left. Don't let them twist what we had. I still play it. But now I answer it. I say, I didn't. And I won't.